Alafia, my dear seekers and darklings. Here's the first clip for the new moon in Taurus. We have a few things to talk about. There's not a lot happening in terms of complicated, separate, or different transits and aspects, but there's a couple things going on that I think we should absolutely discuss. Now, first, there's something really interesting, really worthy of note happening with conjunctions. Okay, first that I want to call attention to are, of course, the sun is conjunct the moon. That's what a new moon is. But those two are conjunct Uranus, and separately, Uranus is conjunct Jupiter. Okay. Um, the sun and the moon are too far away from Jupiter, but those conjunctions are there, and that's something that we're going to have to talk about. Separately, we have Mercury conjunct Chiron in Aries, very worthy of note, and then a triangle of opportunity that's formed by an opposition between Neptune and Lilith, with Uranus and Jupiter as the focal point of that triangle of opportunity. Separately, but involving two of those placements, we have a triangle of ease involving basically the three kings: Pluto, Neptune, and Jupiter conjunct Uranus, but yes. Now, please join me so that we can untangle this mess and elaborate. Rest is paramount this new moon in Taurus. Getting better at getting things done with less effort. Working smarter, not harder. That is definitely a motto that I'm increasingly relating to the archetype of Taurus. And in spite of the fact that Mars moves to its ruling sign, which is Aries, and Venus in its ruling sign of Taurus, this is a very curious period in that a lot of our issues, or a lot of things that might seem like they need a response, or that something needs to get done, or that we need to find something or achieve whatever, are likely to be resolved, or that solution found, obtained, materialized by not doing anything, letting things come to us. Yes, this is a time in which we will have to be active with certain things, but they are things that are already responsibilities that we needed to act on. It should not exactly be new responsibilities. It should not be taking up necessarily new lines of work or new ways of doing certain things or new tasks to fill our day-to-day with, but rather sticking to the things that we already knew that we had to do, if the dates are around this time, or the things that we're doing day by day. And if something new comes up that seems to need a solution, sit, rest, wait. It is in that idle period where you let the imagination roam free that you might find the solutions you're looking for. Not working, not doing things, not trying to control things. It is in letting go, in taking our hands off of things, Pluto and Aquarius, retrograding especially, that we have more power, that we have more freedom. So, we'll keep. So, something else to talk about. First of all, it's very favorable to have Mars in Aries, even if it's transit Mars in this case, because the archetype of Aries energy when it comes to its relationship to fire is fire like an explosion. Yes, it's big, dramatic, and intense for about a second. No more, no less. It goes from 0 to maximum intensity in a moment, in an instance. But, right, once it reaches that intensity, it tapers off and stops. And in a way, that is exactly one of the best ways to utilize Martian energy. You only need to start something once For example, if you're starting something, you just put in the energy to kick it off, and then you move on to the next step, which usually should be, and this is a theme for this new moon, right? To sit back and watch what you just put into motion for a little bit, to see what results it brings, what movement it takes, what speed it adopts after giving it that initial push. Similarly with aggression, right? You get it out of your system, you do what you gotta do, say what you gotta say, and you're at peace. No long, drawn out conflict or battle. Just very similarly, Venus is at home in Taurus, and in the case of Taurus, Taurus is a sign of comforts. Taurus is a sensual sign that likes to. The archetype very much has to do with the importance and the richness of experiencing the world through the five senses. The depth of information that you can get through properly seeing something in detail, hearing something in detail, tasting something, savoring it slowly, touching something to feel every last fiber and, I want to say, surface and consistency, all of that. It's a very patient sign. It's a very slow moving sign. It's a very practical sign. There's this mix of like let's say the stereotypical earth things, but also with extra patience, with extra slowness, but with extra value and affirmation. There's very much something in the Taurus archetype, especially, Venus in Taurus, of like prioritizing relating to people that share values with you, or that bring sensually pleasant experiences into your life, or that fill your life with beautiful objects, or are financially beneficial to you. All of these things, right? But Venus in Taurus is appreciative, not a go-getter. And while, yes, there's a little something about, the Taurus archetype of like, kind of acting like you're a farm animal and you want to just keep going and going and going, and you can bear heavy weight and bear heavy weight apparently near forever. It is very much not about that hard, heavy work and constant hard, heavy work. It's more about working smarter, not harder. Appreciating what comes to you. Because that urge, first of all, that go-getter energy is Martian. It's Martian sort of thing. And that whole being, full of craving all the time and trying to get, that's the Scorpio archetype. I need. So I keep pushing and striving and searching, and that's not what this is about. This is more of, this tea is delicious. It's more of, I'm savoring this slowly and carefully. This isn't even particularly hot anymore, and I absolutely love it that way. No risk of burning my mouth. And a better possibility, a better chance, a better opportunity, I want to say, to fully savor all the different. I put in a bunch of different kinds of leaves in this mix, and if the mix isn't super hot, it's a lot easier to be like, the rosemary and the mugwort and the green tea and the jasmine and the hint of honey. The way they've blended into the water, the way that they've blended into each other, the way that they're starting to make changes to the way that I approach things and talk about things. And so expect this new moon to do things like, if it absolutely needs intervention, just putting your hands into whatever it is at exactly the right time, doing one or few things, and then quickly disengaging, letting it be. If instead of needing to get done, it needs to be given time to develop, to grow, a certain ease in sitting back and letting things develop at their own pace, at their own speed. But there's also going to be an ease here with recognizing who are the right people to have around, what sort of material possessions that you have already are going to be useful going forward in new situations or to resolve certain problems, or even, if you need some quick cash, what's worth selling, for example. And that takes me to the next thing that I want to discuss. I mentioned that this needs to be discussed, and it's, of course, Chiron. Chiron conjunct Mercury means that starting this new moon, but it's going to be a thing that we're going to be working on as of the start of this new chapter of our lives, we're going to have to speak pain with all the hallmarks of truth, and to very honestly, very instinctually, without filters, think, talk, and I want to say analyze pain and psychological wounds and soul wounds as they show up, as they present themselves, or as they are necessary to be addressed. With little subtlety, with little, I want to say, watering down. It's as they show up, just embracing that they are, and embracing what it means for our sense of initiative, of independence, of self. This is, the paradox that I love about Chiron is, yes, when the energy is directed inwards, right? When applied, for example, natal Chiron applied to whoever's chart it's on, it talks of things that are painful to that person. It talks of things that person is probably not good at and self-conscious about, that they wish they were better, that they often struggle with or struggle against. They try to fix it, do better, but it just hurts. And they try and they heal somewhat, but it never fully gets better. But at the same time, when that energy instead is directed outward, used for the benefit of another, it represents a talent. It represents a collection of skills. It represents abilities for healing of another. So exactly the things that hurt in you, that are simultaneously things that make you good in healing others. And especially with Mercury conjunct Chiron, this is going to be a chapter of our lives in which channeling anger for the service of another, for the healing and well-being of another, is very favorably aspected. We very much should. For example, if we have the urge to speak in anger to defend someone else or to affirm someone else, it is likely to have a really powerful and positive effect on that other person. It is very possible that it will also teach you empowering and affirming things about yourself that you hadn't really considered that way. But thinking about how we identify, or thinking about what authenticity means for you, is likely to be very painful and yet necessary. I will continue to dissect certain pieces of what we'll be seeing as of precisely tomorrow. If you liked this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe,
share with your friends, share with your family, share with anyone that you think might benefit from what I am discussing in the present video. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, you know that you can leave them in the comments, or if you want to book a personal session, you can do so via the link on my Linktree, which can take you to my personal website, or even more directly so, to my personal booking system. I hope you enjoyed and learned from this video. Until next time.